We start with Nigeria then. So this has been in the news because of Bill Maher, of all people. I mean, famous atheist, new atheist, and I've met him. He's a lovely bloke, but quite striking to see him get so angry, saying 100,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria because they are Christian, 18,000 churches burned.
If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
It's Africa. That's why no one's talking about it, and they should be. You can't read about it in mainstream media. It's sad, so thank you for bringing it up.
Well, because the Jews aren't involved. That's why. It's the Christians and the Muslims. Who cares?
Now, of course, this is a population. It's about 50-50 Christian, Muslim, maybe slightly fewer Christians, but it's also the case that some people claim there's a genocide in Nigeria, and on the other hand, the Nigerian government themselves and Al Jazeera, who of course have sort of committed...
Always known for being a completely impartial organisation.
Yeah, exactly. They have debunked or claimed to debunk or attempted to debunk Bill Maher's claims, but we nonetheless see horrific videos coming out of Nigeria. And frankly, I don't know too much about what's going on there. So I wonder if you might enlighten me.
Well, thank you, Winston, for having me. Yes, that was very encouraging to see someone like Bill Maher speaking about it, and certainly the issues suddenly become prominent, whereas for years we've been talking about this slaughter. He's completely correct. Thousands upon thousands of Christians, men, women, and children have been murdered, martyred in Nigeria over many, many years. Usually, the figure is being given about 5,000 a year. And we've seen nothing. We've seen no marches. There's been no Black Lives Matter because they're Black Christian lives, so they obviously don't matter. There's no sort of je suis Nigerian Christian, nothing. It's been virtually off all the mainstream media. It is a genocide. It's reaching all the categories of genocide, because genocide is attempting to wipe out a population, an ethnic group, a tribe, and the Muslim majority, or the Muslim raiders, the Fulanis, various other groups have been driving Christians out. There's been an attempt, and it's at least 20 years, to say, which is complete nonsense, that it's climate change. Even politicians, it's sort of accepted narrative that this is climate change. The herdsmen, as they're called, because of climate change, are going into Christian areas because they can't feed their cattle in their own areas because of climate change. So they're just driving the Christians out because of climate change. I have a terrible story. You might remember a couple of years ago, although again, it was hardly reported on the BBC or any channel. I was actually waiting for it to be reported the night it happened. 2 years ago, on Pentecost Sunday, 2022, about 40 men, women, and children, Catholics, were murdered at Mass on Pentecost Sunday. And I was at a gathering just a few months later with the bishop of that diocese, the Diocese of Ondo in Nigeria. The Irish president, Michael Higgins, who's a little fellow with obviously a fairly little brain, had said in his letter of condolence that this was because of climate change. And I was with this bishop who went to his church a few hours later and was telling us he was wading through blood. And his eyes were flaming when he was telling the story. He said, "My people were not murdered because of climate change. They were murdered because they were Christians. That is the only reason. Climate change there may be a factor in this, but it is principally anti-Christian. Men, women, and children, as I said, being martyred, hacked to death, burnt to death. And thank God someone like Bill Maher, who hasn't got any skin in the game really, raises this issue, because we hear so much about genocide in other places. And as I think he said, here's somewhere where a real genocide is happening and no one's doing anything about it.
So it might be worth just painting a picture of what is going on. So this is Islamist groups who are if it's not climate change, it's Islamist groups who are, what are they trying to conquer land, or are they targeting Christians because of the very fact that they're Christians with no other motivation?
It's both. They are taking land, and it happens to be Christian land, and they're driving Christians out. But they go in and kill everyone or drive them out. There are, as you said, there are horrific videos of them attacking villages and things. There are thousands now of what are called IDPs, internally displaced persons, people who've been, they're not refugees because you can't really be a refugee in your own country, but they've been driven, internally displaced from one area into camps. And they are, this, as I said, has been going on for many, many years. But this is also exponentially happening across Africa. We hear about ISIS was defeated to a certain extent in parts of the Middle East, but ISIS or its namesake, or ISIS is just a name, Islamist, jihadi, extremists are growing across Africa. All around Nigeria, Niger, above, Chad, Mali, these places, Mozambique, all across Africa, they are growing, they're massacring, they're getting very, very strong. And the world's attention, Africa seems to be, if it's not the Chinese trying to take over with its Belt and Road initiative, the other danger for so many parts of Africa now is Islamist extremism. And it's barely on our screens.
Thanks for watching this clip from The Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode, and for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.